Hey, thank you, Rex Scrubs. Thanks for the $8. Mustard Man. Mustard Man. Hey, Vulcan. Is this a vibe stream? Yeah, it's gonna be real low energy right now. I'm quite sick. This is totally me when slow mode is on. When's the next episode coming out? You'll just have to be patient. Thank you, J Ray. Bung, can I get a fist bump for doing my homework for once? Yeah. You got this. Oh, thank you, Jill E, for the $5. I can't get sleep, so I'm here. Says just Canada, just all of Canada. Hello from Hong Kong. Hello from Australia. Ni hao ma. Good morning, Monkey Man. Good morning, Jared. How are you, man? I'm okay. I'm just a bit sick. I woke up feeling quite sick. And I've been sort of consistently sick throughout the day. But I still want to stream, even if it just means low energy, you know? Thank you, Vulcan. I appreciate that. Hello from Norway. Hello. Welcome into the stream. Sorry, Jonathan Ramirez. You're just gonna have to be patient with that one. Want to make out? Don't really know you. Maybe we'll get to know each other some other day. Hey Bung, it's me fucking silly, funny singing lady. Here to ask the important question of how are you, you gift of a human monkey? Yeah, you know what, it's just fine. It's alright. Things have been okay. You know, nothing's bad's happened today. It's just low energy, a bit sick, but that's just kind of normal. How'd you get your username? It used to be funnier when my profile picture was just this grinning Garfield. I don't know, Lord Bung felt right for that image. And then the image changed like a bunch of times and now it's here. And I mean, I would be lying if I said I didn't want it to be different. But this is just kind of how people have come to know me, so I'm accepting it, you know? It's a very nice title, Just Being. Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't kick myself for doing something more than I need to, you know? Right, for this stream, I don't really need to do anything, just be. Can you confirm that Australia is the best country because the shape of Australia is just beautiful? It is a pretty good shape. Like, it might just be because I've seen it everywhere and I'm raised in this country, but I look at that shape and I'm like, yeah, that's a really good shape actually. It's kind of vaguely symmetrical, but mostly asymmetrical. You know, just ignoring all of the state and territory lines. It's just a nice shape, you know? I really dig it. Could use some more rivers though. If I had to have one criticism, there's more rivers just running through it would be great. As a professional monkey biologist, I say what you could do with is 10 cc's of a ghost hug. Only if you give the ghost hug, Sarah. You need to get a team to work you, man. One episode a year hurts. Your work is delicate, but I'm sure you can teach it. I mean, I have a team. I guess you want me to have a team for more aspects of the show, but I'm not really comfortable on releasing, giving that responsibility to other people. I like being in control of what I'm in control of right now. It just means it'll take a while. You know, maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. Alaska's a nice shape. It's pretty good, actually. Do you think you'll produce more songs by themselves in the future? I definitely can see that. I just don't have any plans right now. Your butt still brokey? Nah. It's been fixed for a while. Cheating on me with another ghost hugger. No, only one ghost to me. And I'll hug any ghost, actually. What state are you from? I'm from one of the northern ones. You could just figure that one out. Air is a nice shape. Air is a nice shape, actually. What country are you from? Asked Canada. I am from Australia, as you can see in this drawing I did here on the, I guess on that side of the stream. Bung just bung. How'd they fix your butt? No, it sort of just came back together after a while. I just had to take it easy. Hello from Brazil. Hey, obrigado from Australia. What's your favorite SCP? And if Netflix offered to put confinement on the platform, would you accept it? Well, I can't do the Netflix thing. There are too many copyrights around SCP. And I wouldn't really want to anyway. I kind of want to be in control of what I have. My favorite SCP, man. I haven't been on it recently on the website because I've just been doing what I already know to do right now in regards of making my show. So right now it's I'll try and think one up, actually. I'll try and think of a good SCP that I remember. Oh, actually, there's this one SCP. I can't remember the name, but it's a bunch of cockroaches that over time slowly mimic the most advanced creature in the area. So when the scientists found it and locked it up in this big room, over time, these cockroaches started mimicking the scientists. And so you have all of these cute little photos on the page where it's just like cockroaches sitting in furniture and stuff, and the scientists having a good time. It's just like, yeah, look at these cockroaches. Look at them sitting in chairs. And then eventually the cockroaches get really big and fuck things up real bad. I like that one. It's got a fun little story. Bung, I enjoy your videos. Thank you for existing. Thank you. I was born on Earth, lol. Must be nice. So you keep up the good work. I love everything you produce. Thank you, Toblerone. What's your favorite type of cheese? Oh, SCP-3035 science bugs. Hell yeah. Yeah. Oh, you all are on that. You already got that number. Oh, that's crazy. Can you make an episode where the Connor and his girlfriend married, please? Oh, that's cute. Gamer bugs. Yeah, the gamer bugs. Flying cockroach just flew on my leg, and you are talking about that SCP, man. What the hell? Crazy. Is Lord Bung Australian? Yes, I am. Cockroach psychologists are probably better anyways. Maybe. Cockroach, you know, I'm somewhat of a scientist myself. What country is this? This is Australia. Always was and always will be Aboriginal land. I made this for NIDOC Week, which is the week which we sort of observe Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. Because I wanted to get to know about my country and who has been more delicately and intimately been with this country for much longer than I or any other immigrant has ever been, you know, before the Europeans got here. For tens of thousands of years, these people, all of these hundreds of different tribes just living with the land in this sustainable way. And we're sort of in school and culturally just baseline supposed to believe that because they didn't advance, quote unquote, that they deserve to have what happened to them. And it's such a normal way of thinking here, and it's kind of stupid when you think about how our current way of life, of, you know, industrialization and this progress, just making things bigger, making things more excessively, eating more than we need, owning more than we need. That's an unsustainable lifestyle that's going to crash and burn eventually, much sooner. And then you have all of these people who have lived here for tens of thousands of years who have never crashed and burned. And yet we make fun of them and say that they're primitive, just because they knew when to stop eating, and they knew when to stop digging. They knew when to stop deforesting, you know? I don't know. It's just something I think about a lot, and that's why I wanted to do this art piece and to do my research on Aboriginal spirituality and lifestyle. Leaving the oceans was a mistake. Can we get a ghost monkey? If you did that, I'd be dead excited. Yeah, sure, Sarah. I'll see if there's ever such a thing as a ghost monkey gif. Oh, what the fuck? Funny animal ghosts. Oh, it's a monkey in a bag. He just has a bag on him and he's like... It looks like he's pretending to be a ghost. That's cute. How long does this GIF go for? Yeah, it's too long. See what other monkey GIFs are there. Sorry, I should be reading chat. To be fair, this is how history has always been. The stronger group pushes out the weaker, always was, always will be. Well, don't appreciate your appropriation of that political phrase. That's a very doomer way of looking at things. Obviously, I'm going to acknowledge that the more violent culture, the more excessive culture, tends to beat out the uh, less excessive culture. You using the words stronger and weaker in this case, I'm just going to pretend you didn't mean it in an offensive way. I am saying that I think that there should be respect and admiration for people who know when to stop. Because I look at the British Empire as an addict, as a crazy, insecure addict who is trying to get more and more and more. And that has just been the legacy and attitude that has been continuing since. You know? Have you lived around Aboriginals before? Yeah. Yes, I have actually. I used to live in this small community when I was a kid. And I still live with them now. I live up in a town where it's pretty, populated with Aboriginals. It's an overwhelmed thinking versus the primitive. Honestly, you could make this into a lull thinking and staying aware. I'm not really sure what you said there. Love the work you do, bro. Thank you, Rory. Which countries did you visit? I've been to the Philippines first. Well, I was born in Australia, but then I visited the Philippines first as a kid for a few years. Then Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. And America one time about a year ago. I mean, a stronger, weaker is a stronger one is the one with the bigger guns. Yeah, that's what the more positive side of me was thinking that's what you meant. Yeah. And I think that should be something that we need to become aware of, that when we're still doing it. You know, we're still doing these things. We're still using force and excess to justify some of the shittier things that we do nowadays. Yeah, well, that's just the way it is, I guess. If people can become more aware of it, then maybe we could have more honest answers, more honest revelations. People can look at themselves and go, you know what, I'm actually not going to continue this cycle. I'm gonna, maybe my dad might have did this and his dad might have did this, but I'm gonna change. It's good to see you streaming, Bung. Your work is amazing, just for your information. Thank you. It's probably a really popular question, so if you want to ignore it, that's fine. But how did you get into SCP? It was in high school. I was actually talking to my friend the other night that showed me the SCP wiki when I was in high school back in 2013 or 2012. Maybe even before that. But yeah, I was so in love with it. I loved all that shit. I still do, I just don't read too much of it right now. Dopamine receptors are broken, lol. Yeah, it'd be like that some days. But you know what dopamine is, So, I think the individual value of happiness is something that can be appreciated, even if you aren't currently feeling happy. It's all about the agricultural revolution. The Aborigines didn't get that opportunity. Yeah, but see what happened. Also, Australia isn't really... to have a sustainable land, a lot of indigenous tribes would travel from place to place, and they would just eat when it was most fruitful in one place, and then they would move to another place where it was more fruitful over, tens and thousands of years of learning to understand the cycles of nature. and so they didn't need to do agriculture. Just like how many African tribes didn't need to do it either. There are only very few tribes in Africa that ended up making empires and civilizations. And in Australia, it just simply wasn't a thing that needed to happen because, you learn new things out of a need for something intense like survival. And because it's never been that intense, it was never became a need. And now everything is that intense, or at least it feels like it, because we put ourselves in this juggling match, and where we're just like, we have to put all of our money in this, we have to put all of our money in that. We have no idea how the economy is going to go. Oh no, it's going to crash, everyone's going to lose it. But we built ourselves up into this community in which people do crash and burn all the time, and that's just how it works. And we act like that's normal. We go, well, I'd rather have financial problems than live out in the bush. It's like, well, yeah, that's because that's your normal. Your normal is this. You were raised to think that this is normal. This current way of life is normal. And then you get defensive about it. This must be the way things are. I'm going to get mad at people who disagree. So how's your caffeine break going so far? It's going good. I gave up for a few months, and now I just drink it every now and then. Because I don't feel like I need to drink it, It's just a thing that every now and then I will drink. That's pretty good. Sorry, Demi Fujitsu, I'm having a hard time understanding grammatically how that is, what you're saying. Do you have any music recommendations while you read SCP files and whatnot? I enjoy have some noise droning in the background. Yeah, sometimes I put on the, if it's a particularly scary one, I will put on the Under the Skin soundtrack. That one always, that's me. That always gets me. Wait, Bung, are you of Aboriginal descent? No. But I don't need to be, just because I understand and respect their way of life, how it was essentially more sustainable. And I don't mean to say that in a doomer way of like, our current society sucks. No, our current society is just what it is. But I don't like it when people get real shitty about societies that are different from their own, especially indigenous ones. Because it doesn't come from anywhere intelligent or anywhere well thought out. It comes from a place of, well, I couldn't imagine myself living out in the desert. Okay. Can you imagine not having the fucking economy crash every few years and having all of our freedoms and liberties taken away because of manipulative voting tactics? And I don't know. It seems like everything is so wildly complicated on purpose. And it seems like it is the case that things stay so complicated and boring, and you are kept in your own lane by social standards of, oh, you're not a politician, you shouldn't be thinking about this stuff. You shouldn't even be looking at this stuff. You have no idea what you're talking about because you're not a politician. This whole separation, all of these social assumptions that make us stay in our lane and just end up getting fucked over. Something that's scary to think about is the mutually assured destruction due to the massive nuclear weapons. How humans have become that warmongering that we will go so far as to kill Earth. Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for the naturally occurring power shift that happens every 250 years. It's getting faster now, don't you think? The more and more we invent shit. Have you ever had a pet? Yeah, I had a few, but my mom wasn't a big fan of pets, so they never were treated right. I never knew how to raise them. I was a kid, We just chill and talk, and we are. Another Thursday night of vibes. Yeah. I tried dating a vacuum once. It sucked. Shut up. I sold my house to keep buying drugs. Ain't that the life? I wasn't trying to say anything with a mean connotation. It's all good. Just being what, Bung? What are you being? I'm just being. That's all it is. I'm not being anything different from... I'm not trying to get somewhere. I'm just simply being here, you know? What is your favorite game and which one has released a lot of stress you may have had while working on confinement? Oh, I see what you mean. Minecraft, I guess. No Man's Sky is pretty good now. I really enjoy that. Mario Kart, I've been playing recently with some friends. It's just easier now that it's all on the Switch. Everybody has a Switch, and every Switch has 2 controllers automatically, so it's pretty great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Looking dead inside, not gonna lie. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sick right now. Loving the nails, man. Thank you. Like, I'm shocked. I have not asked this question before, but how did you start? Like, what's the story with you in animation? Does my question make sense? I get what you mean. Hey, Bong, is the podcast gonna come back? Thank you for the £2, Bama Boni. No, I don't think it is, sorry. Things are a bit complicated. How did I start? Well, I was just a Twitter artist in the beginning. I saw the community I wanted to join. I had a pretty good idea of how to get there. Oh shit. Thank you for the 50 pesos, Dreams. I appreciate that. And then I did the classic game of drawing some art for myself and some art for other people. And got pretty big through that. I don't really know how. It just seemed very easy to me. And exciting. It was really exciting. And unfortunately, I got really addicted to growing my numbers. I mean, it's not totally unfortunately. There's like 2 sides of it all, of course. You know, I got big and popular, sort of. And then I decided I wanted to make videos because enough people were looking at me. That shirt. No comment, just that shirt. How do you guys poop, please? I need to know. Do you males just let it hang there, or do you have to hold it? Oh, okay. How do guys poop? I see what you mean. How do penis havers poop? No, I would say that the penis is quite far from the poop hole. It's not gonna really be a problem unless I guess you're leaning so far back that it's just hanging right in front of that little nasty cave. But I don't think that's the case for most people pooping. How long are you planning to have confinement run? I'd like to finish this season, and hopefully I would still want to do a 2nd season by the time that I get there. Dead soulless eyes. I have glossy, shiny eyes that deceive and trick you into believing I'm fine, I'm good, I'm happy. Whoa. Sounds like a sad poem you're writing there, Antonio. How did you meet all of these people? Well, basically through my story. I mean, I was an artist, and then I started making Bong Chronicles, and that's when I met all these people. They just liked whatever I had, and I was pretty good at mimicking what they thought was funny, because I thought it was funny. It was kind of like it all just happened to work out. Sometimes I wonder how much of myself I compromised, if I did at all. It's really hard to say, it's kind of like, it's only after your friendship with somebody's ended do you realize that, there were parts of myself that I didn't like that was really accentuated in this friendship. Did I compromise, or did I discover that I didn't like these things through the friendship? Either way, I appreciate the friendship, at least finding that stuff out. What is something that's being normalized that you think is wrong? I think normalization is wrong. Not wrong. I don't really think of things in that way. I think things are much more wildly complicated than our perception of society can create. I say that like as if I don't have any assumptions of how society works. Of course I do. But I just try not to take it too seriously because I know I'm probably wrong. You sound more English than Aussie. Yeah, I know, I've heard that. I don't know, there's nothing I could think of right now that maybe somebody could bring some shit up, but right now I'm just like quite happy with I'm quite accepting of what's going on in the world. It's as terrible as it gets, It's because what's the point otherwise, Obviously I want things to change sometimes. There are definitely things that I try to help push in a certain direction politically, and do what I do. I do what I can. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one. You're gonna have to bring up all of these. Well, you're gonna have to bring up a bunch of heavy subjects, and maybe you'll remind me. I've attempted to animate, and it's so difficult to do. What helps you stay at it? And what tools do you use? Well, don't get sick, first of all, because that always sucks. Always makes it harder. Being in the moment when you're drawing, if I could say that. Where just pretend that every single line you're doing is really important. It's not important in a way where you have to get it right, but important that you experience that line. Every single mistake that you make is just as important as every single correct line that you do. Just try and think that way. Don't try too hard, because if you try too hard, you can't think that way. It's just something. Just pretend you're drawing for the first time every time you do a frame. And it can get pretty exciting. It can get pretty relaxing. And ideally, you want to end up in this place of peace where you are doing nothing but drawing. You're not thinking of something else. You're not caught up in some memory or thinking about what you need to do next, whether it be tomorrow or just like what next you have to do in the drawing, what next frame you have to do. You don't think about any of that shit. Just simply do the frame that you're on. Just live in there and try to have all of your sensory, all of your olfactory senses focused on the fact that you are drawing and nothing else. I'm at uni now, and I've seen a big canvas in the animation building that looks like something you draw, wondering if you've ever been or done work in Nottingham or just parts of Britain in general. Sorry, I've never been to the UK. Scooby-Doo out of context. Hey, bro. Thoughts on seals? They're quite good. Seals are really good, actually. I really like how they can be shaped like an egg, and then they can get really long. It's insane. It's like an adorable penis. It's crazy. Are you trying to get your show Confinement greenlit? Adult Swim? Not really. SCP stuff usually only works on platforms like YouTube because of the CC. That's why we don't see movies or TV shows and stuff on it. Yeah, basically. If you're from the Philippines, well, good luck on your modules unless you're online class. I'm not from the Philippines. I'm just half Filipino. I'm from Australia, so I never lived that academic life in the Philippines. Live in the frame. Got it. Thanks, man. Yeah, and just don't be perfectionist about it, because perfectionism implies that you're not already an artist. You are an artist. That's why you're doing what you're doing. And you learn best and you improve best when you aren't trying to improve. You can tell yourself every time you sit down to draw that I am drawing because one day I'm going to become a better artist. No, don't think that. Even though that is what's going to happen, don't think about that. Just think about the drawing that's right in front of you. And be insanely forgiving and graceful with yourself. You're going to draw and it's going to fail so many times. You're going to be unhappy with it so many times. And that's fine. Just keep doing it. I stopped caring a long time ago. Now I'm trapped in my head. Just a pretty shell that pretends deceives. When I think about dark, sad things, I feel happy, joy, I feel alive. See how pointless. Man, Antonio, you're really talking some dark shit. Will you ever fly towards the left with your spaceship? Yeah, these things will get crazy one day. I'll move that spaceship. I'll turn the spaceship literally any other direction. What is your opinion on the Confinement fans making Rule 34 of your characters? I don't give a shit. I'm not actively looking for them, so I'm not bothered. Thank you, Diego. There gonna be more Bunk Chronicles? Sorry, no. None of that. The ethics committee can't change anything. You got them. You roasted them. You're an artist even when you aren't actively creating. Exactly. If it's all connected. Your entire lifestyle. You could say that your art is just a printing of your life, in a way. Even if you think that your art is contrary to how you live, you could say that you are drawing this because it's contrary to how you live, because you're trying to escape. Some artists are just drawing because they want to draw. Whether they like it or not, they are just printing their own life onto the paper, or onto the frames, onto the sculpture, whatever. And also how you do it is just as important, except people don't seem to talk about how you do it as much because you don't get to have physical proof of how you did it. You just have the final product and you just show it off. And if your entire life is revolved around the final product, then you might not be paying so much attention to yourself. Maybe you might benefit as an artist from paying attention to yourself. Is writing a form of art? It can be. You know, if you're writing because you want to and not because you feel like you have to. If you're writing poetry, if you're writing stories, you can use descriptive language to help create a point or tell a aspect of a story. You could also use words improperly to get ideas across, to get concepts and art across. There's a great short story online called Transcendental Love, Said the Cactus Person. And it's where somebody is having a DMT trip and they're talking to a cactus person in a giant green bat. And between their conversations, the narrator is describing everything using intentionally nonsensical adjectives. So they say, like, the sky looks like turpentine, or they would say that the ground is made of vibrant celestine. You know, just like all of these adjectives that don't logically make sense, but that's how it feels, is that everything isn't real, that everything is sort of teetering on the edge of non-existence. And I didn't get it the first time I read it until I tried some funny chemicals, and then I was like, oh, okay, I see now. I work for praise, but like praise that I feel like I deserve, if that makes sense. I get what you mean. I think a lot of people get that. Yeah. Just try not to make the standard so impossible. We make standards impossible when we take them seriously. You know, we like kick ourselves when we don't get it right to our own standard. We think like, well, I can't even do this right, you know. It's never that serious. Nobody's watching. Just, you're allowed to fail. You're allowed to make as many failures as you can. That's why the standards are there to begin with. If you got them right the whole time, that'll be weird. Wouldn't make any sense. How is your handwriting? It's pretty bad. I can do it okay. I can write okay if I tried, but it's not something I'm used to. You know, when I write, I'm just trying to get like a reminder across or something. My friend said bad art is better than no art. Makes me wish I started years ago. That's a good saying. Bad art is better than no art. Well, it's never too late to start. You don't have to start years ago. You can just start now. I mean, saying makes you wish you started years ago. I get what you mean, but it sounds like the point is for you to just do art now, you know? There isn't a time where you could have, you're not gonna do it better just because you started ages ago. You're just gonna do it how you did it. You're just gonna be doing it right now how you're doing it right now. There is no better or worse art. You can't really measure those things. You can just say like, well, that's comprehensible, I guess, to somebody, to some people. And they'll go, therefore it's good, because I can recognize some of that. That's some cool painting that represents this, and that means that, and whatever. It's not what art's for. Art isn't for getting up the social ladder. That's how I used it when I was in high school, and I never produced anything that I really wanted. Hello from South Africa. As far as the characters you've added to the series, which SCP would you think are replacing with another SCP? I don't really know what you mean, sorry. You're not failing, you're learning how to do something. Yeah, that's true. I just, I, the word failing, I just want to get out of people's negative connotation. Because you fail, who cares? It just happens. You're gonna call yourself a failure. And I don't want that word to hurt, you know? How do you gain motivation to do things that one's interested in? The motivation is always there, you know? You just have to be in it. The only thing that's stopping you from the motivation are all of the other thoughts that are just going around in your head. You know? You are what's stopping you. Yeah, I mean, obviously there are exceptions, like sometimes you're sick. Like right now I'm sick, so I didn't really get too much done today. Get pretty miserable sometimes. Sometimes you're just sad and you just want to be occupied in that sadness. But the motivation is there. If you want to feed that wolf, you can. You just try not to feed the other wolves, you know? We think that it's about fighting something. We need to fight to get motivation. We need to find that thing that'll give me the motivation. Maybe you're right. Maybe you'll find something and it'll probably give you some temporary motivation, but the motivation's inside you all along. It's not something that it's not something that suddenly gets injected into you once you, I don't know, have your funny juice. You know what I mean? You're not starting over, you're starting with experience. It's true. You're gonna have to start with experience over and over again. That's just all of life. Just wanted to show up and tell you that you're amazing. Thank you, Jaden. What do you do when you are continuously told that you have failed? I'm starting to hate doing anything and have no passion for the things I like to do anymore. Well, I don't know who's telling you that you failed. Probably somebody who's failed a lot. That's probably the person who's telling you you failed. Well, if it makes you feel better, our cultural definition of success is what's killing the planet. So I wouldn't listen to people who have a tendency to call other people failures, because they're part of the problem. If you're obsessed with this idea of winning or failing, then I'm not really sure that you're ever going to be satisfied. You know what I mean? It's not a question of what you are failing at or what you are succeeding at. It's a question of how obsessed you are with failing or succeeding. If you are obsessed with failure, then you are living in fear. If you're obsessed with succeeding, then you're still living in fear of failing, you know? Why would you want to live in that world? Why don't you just do what you want? And if it doesn't turn out the way you expected, then that's just the way it is. You can still keep doing it if you want. But if you keep calling yourself a winner or a failure, then you're just going to keep wanting that buzz of winning. That quick temporary buzz of being on top. Maybe I made someone seem stupid in an argument, and that's my dopamine for the day. You know, finding any excuse to bump heads with somebody, or finding any excuse to feel like you've done something. You know, tallying our days, and we're judging how great we are based on what we did on that day, what we did in that week, what we've done in our whole lives. There's no way we could tally every single thing that we've done in a fucking day. And yet we judge ourselves based on that every day. You know? There's no way we can find that out to such a great detail. And if we do live that way every single day, then some days we're going to feel like shit for no reason. Do you have a job or you're a full-time YouTuber? Yeah, YouTubing is my job, I guess. Stream is pretty chill. Hell yeah. Australia wasn't always. Ever heard of Pangaea Bung? Well, that's not what this thing is in reference to. It's not saying always was, always will be Australia. It's always was, always will be native land. Living is kind of fun, no cap. It is, you know? It's only fun because we have some of these bad days. Like, for me right now, I'm having a bad day. But that's fine. You know? These days happen. I mean, thankfully, I don't have bad days very much anymore. You know, I used to have just non-stop bad days. And I had so many bad days in the past that I would be in denial of just how many bad days I had. Because it seemed ridiculous, just how many bad days I had. But every single day, I was basically like, not even like this, I was much worse than this. I'm not trying to like say how much better I am now than I used to be. But just for reference, you know, even though this is a bad day for me, I've actually been quite positive, and I've been quite forgiving and graceful. And I haven't beaten myself up much, you know? Just in all these new subtle ways I didn't know that I could, but it's a learning experience for me. I'm learning like, oh, so this is what I'm like at my worst right now, you know? Interesting. It's not that bad though. Hope the rest of your day is good. Thank you. Yeah, I hope so too. What's up with the orangutan in the top right corner? Why you be talking so much? That be me. I aspire to be as cool and chill as Lord Dylan Bung. You just aspire to be you, you know? You'll find out. You'll find out what you are. You'll find out who you are. I mean, who you are is who you are right now. There is no end goal. We feel like there is an end goal because that's just what we've been told our whole lives, right? You know, if you do this, if you get to the end of this class, you get to the end of this course, get to the end of this this section of your job, and then you get maybe a better paying position. We're always told that it's coming, that it's always coming. It'll get there. And we'll finally be happy. No, all it's done is created this idea that it's coming, you know, and it never comes, and we're never happy because we always feel like it's going to come. The happiness, you know, the satisfaction. But we're destroying the idea of satisfaction. We're destroying the own satisfaction and happiness in ourselves by pretending that it's coming, because we feel like it is all the time, and we don't have any room in our head to accept that maybe it's right here, you know? Damn, why is tonight so deep? Oh, it's every stream. Every stream do this. Notice me, Senpai Bung. Hello, Diego. I aspire to live and not die. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good baseline one. It's normal to have bad days sometimes and good days sometimes. It's long bad months you gotta worry about. Oh yeah, that's kind of like the sign. As well, it's one sign. I mean, you know, it's pretty contextual. You know, if somebody close to you died, then your grieving period is your own. I'm not going to tell you how long it should be. And people are going to say, well, it should be, I don't know, just a few months or something. No, it's going to be your own. You're going to end up finding out what you've been blocking in your life through this experience. And it won't strictly be that this person who was close to you just died. It'll be everything else. Everything else pours out. With the title just being that picture of Australia on LSD, it looks like you're trying to start a cult. I mean, I understand the first one, but this is this is meant to be more reminiscent of Aboriginal artwork, so yeah, it's a little different. I'm not trying to make you feel racist. What's up, cool? Just came in to stream, say hi again. I really like how inclusive the art is. It's great for YouTubers to be promoting these things. I hope that tomorrow is a better day for you. Thank you, Mango Bite. Did you go through the quitting caffeine? Yeah, it's all gone now. I just drink it every now and then, just because it's not something that I feel like I need. I don't know, who knows? Maybe I'd slip back in, and if that happens, then that happens. Have you taken a psychedelic before? Yes. Taken a couple. These chill streams are real good to have as background noise. I'm glad. Call me a failure, a sick person. I don't know if that's a poem or a song. I guess it could be both, yeah. Oh. I don't know. Do you think it's really great to be expressing this kind of self-hatred all the time? I mean, I hope that you balance it out by you respecting yourself and loving yourself and living your life, but I don't know. I'm just wondering why you're putting a lot of sad poetry in this chat. My favorite get stoned and chill stream. Hell yeah, you better get stoned right now. I'm confused. What's happening? I just joined. Just being. We're just being. Just existing. Yeah. Bung, you okay? Yeah, I'm just still sick. Still tired. Head kinda hurts. This comment is a comment. Gonna be thinking about that one for a while, Lord Sanu. When's the next episode coming out, man? You're just gonna have to be patient. Still being made. Right now, what's happened lately, I guess I could say that my co-animator is now free. So, I have gotten him to start an animation cycle for walking. So yeah, things should be speeding up a little bit, but still you have to be patient, you know? Oh, he's floating in space. Do you need help? Do you have food? Yeah, I'm good, I'm good. Got some water right here. Thank you for the hug, Sarah. How long are you gonna last in space? As long as it takes, you know? Are monkeys your favorite animal? At the moment, that seems to be the case. I really dig them. I really dig how similar they are to humans. I really dig how funny they are. Kind of gives me this perspective on life, you know? You see these beings who just exist. They don't have any plans, you know? They don't have any anxiety because of that. They don't have any depression. They don't have this idea that they're somehow worse than the other orangutans. They just are. They are being. Being is beautiful. Would you slap a monkey in the clopus? I don't know what a clopus is. A bung. I have a bone that sticks out of the back of my right shoulder. It doesn't hurt, nor did I get hurt before it appeared. Is this something I should be concerned about? Nah. Just don't touch it, I guess. Could you archive this stream? This one really resonates with me on what you said. Yeah, this all of my streams are they're unlisted, but they're on a playlist on my channel. You just have to look up the streams playlist on the playlists section of my channel, and it should all be there. Just find the date that you want. If you stop caring, you won't hurt no more, or at least you'll hurt less. Well, you're gonna keep caring regardless. You just don't have to take it seriously. But for you to do that, you're gonna have to acknowledge that you care. You're gonna have to accept, okay, I really do care about this, and then you don't care about it so much. You can't just numb yourself out. That's a very short-term thing. You end up suffering, and when you suffer, you just end up doing the things you're addicted to. The things that you have gotten addicted to in order to make up for that dopamine lack. You have to accept things first, you know. Gonna get that ghost monkey in next stream. Yeah, maybe. If you stop caring entirely, something will deteriorate. Absolutely. You can't force yourself to not care. You are gonna care. You look a bit off. Everything okay? Yeah, I'm just sick right now. Sorry. I know I'm just gonna sound really depressed. I just had a pretty bad day, but nothing happened. Is the strange thing. Nothing bad happened. I just woke up. Just woke up like this. Just woke up and I was kind of sad. And I've just been pretty consistently sad and sick this entire day with a headache. Danny, would you help me raise a chimp battle group? I don't want an animal fighting ring. That's kind of fucked up. Thoughts on likes and dislikes. By that I mean we don't actually choose which things we like, and even if we do, it's based on some other thing we like. Where do these impositions come from? I get what you mean. So like, do we have free will if everything is just based on what we've been reinforced throughout our life to associate with what is likable and not likable? My answer to that is that despite how simple the question makes reality sound, reality is made up of so many millions and millions and millions of other on-off switches that you will not be able to predict whether I will just continue a cycle of abuse or addiction, or if I decide spontaneously to change based on all of these other likes and dislikes in my life, or based on all of these other factors outside of my control, maybe. So the idea of just being spontaneous and making a decision and thinking differently is unpredictable, and therefore might as well be free choice, if that makes sense. Because if you can just, if the position of everything is just made up of the chemical reaction that began billions of years ago, and therefore everything can be predicted, hypothetically, with a big enough computer, then, well, we can't, because everything is so much more complicated, and therefore nobody can tell you what to do, and nobody can tell you what is most likely going to happen. All predictions are going to fail. Does that make sense? I don't know. Not alone having bad days, just keep shooting for the stars and you'll eventually break through these clouds in your way. Thank you. Yeah, I know everybody has bad days. Just right now for me. This is just an unusual thing. I usually don't have bad days anymore. So getting used to today was actually quite heavy. Australia doesn't exist, you know this. Hey, Bung, I've been listening to lots of music recently that makes me feel strongly about life recently. It made me wonder about the mediums of expression like music, art, dance, animation. Hell yeah. Yeah, those mediums are important. It's all just how we express the things in reality that words don't, that words fail to capture, you know? That aspect of reality is very important, especially if we start dealing with, uh, especially when we start having experiences that seem to fit outside of categories. Which everybody's having, we just don't seem to realize it. If I can break the cycle, anyone can. Yep, exactly. What were you addicted to, if you don't mind me asking? Was I talking about addiction earlier? Well, lots of things. There are a lot of things that we are all addicted to that we just don't acknowledge as addictions because they're kind of socially acceptable. One of them was caffeine. I was addicted to caffeine, and I just kept sort of building up, like drinking more and more every day. And if I ever lagged on it, I would get these terrible headaches, and get real sleepy. And my energy would just be all over the place, and it'll be just entirely based on this compulsion to add more, to have more, you know. And of course, I was like ruining my liver as well. Dude, why are you not animating but just wasting your time? I don't know, man. Why are you saying what you're saying? I mean, why are you on stream? Joining stream just to tell me that, oh no, I'm gonna change my mind now. Wow. It really, really blew my mind what that guy said on stream. I'm just being salty. People really seem to think that I just, like, when I'm off stream, I don't do anything. That I just disappear. Heroin. I didn't say I wasn't addicted to heroin, I said caffeine. Is dopamine good or bad? Certainly feels good, but moderation is the key. If you are chasing that dopamine hit, no matter what it is you're getting it from, if you're chasing it, then that's where the suffering comes from. Because the reality is you're not going to have dopamine all the time. And if you are chasing it as if you should be having dopamine all the time, then you are just going to suffer every single time it drops. The problem is that it's always going to drop. You just have to accept that. And the more you accept it, ironically, the better things seem to get. You can ruin your liver with caffeine. Yeah, well, specifically, where I was getting my caffeine from was from Pepsi Max. So, yeah. That has a bunch of ingredients that can ruin your liver, not just the caffeine. Sometime good, sometime bad. Yeah, absolutely. Have a drink on me is something. I appreciate the positivity. You're doing 343's work. Thank you, Walker Bean. I appreciate that. Object permanence lol. People forget other people live. It's true. We all do. People think that people who make media are just entertainment machines. So rude. The audacity I've seen towards artists, creators. It's fine. It's something that I signed up for, essentially. Doesn't excuse rude behavior. But it is what it is, you know. It's just something that happens. And of course, I'm allowed to be salty right back. I'm allowed to do whatever, you know. It's There's no rule book for how to be a entertainer or creator. I'd like to not do that though. Cashews come from a fruit. Is that right? Mountain chicken. Really makes you think. I'm thinking about maybe having a funny little smoke. I don't know. We'll just see how, if any of you are opposed to that. If you eat kebab, do you eat it with fries or rice? Asking to settle a debate. Well, I eat it with fries because they only sell it with fries where I live. Chips. I haven't seen a place that sells it with rice where I live. I think Australia just has a massive preference for chips, you know. The seen but unspeakable parts of the world, in the sense that there is no way to write or vocalize those parts of the world. This is where I really appreciate artists like you. Follow up message. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, this part of the world is so vast and so infinite, and we pretend that it isn't there because it's scary to think that way, because it's a space in our mind that we just have very little experience with, because we're taught that art isn't important. Nope. And even the times in which an art teacher is teaching me about art and how important it is, they aren't telling me about that either. They're talking about fine art and why fine art is important and why specific rules of art are needed to do, and it just makes art look like an arbitrary tradition. It doesn't make it look like what it is, which is undefinable. It's about exploring the undefinable. It's about exploring this area that is completely void of strict rules and expectations and goals. There's none of that in art, and yet it is taught as if it is. It's taught as if it's just some weird cultural tradition of, this is what we draw. This is how artists draw. They draw specifically like that. You know, it doesn't. It's not that at all. But it's taught that way. No smoking bad, because you'd be dead in like 50, 30 years. Oh no, not that smoking. Not that smoking. 2 milligrams of fentanyl is enough to kill someone. Yeah, I heard of that in Euphoria. They want art to be like art back in their days. Yeah, it just totally misses the point of art. Art is an attempt to take what's inside and put it outside in a way you like. It's true. And therefore making it a part of the outside, if you want to put it that way. But really what you're doing is just expressing something that is already true to you. In other words, you are showing other people how you already see the outside world. Even if it isn't literal, you know, like somebody draws like a melting clock. They might not literally, actually I don't know if the artist literally saw melting clocks, but they might not literally see melting clocks every time they see a clock. But they're the kind of person who would look at a clock and think, wow, they would get vivid images of it melting. And go, wow, I'm seeing this a lot. I'm not sure why, but I am. Or maybe there's a metaphor to it, you know. It's all about the artist, you know. It's not about the art. That's what art is about. It's kind of weird. It's about the artist, always. Like your nails. Thank you. Your voice is very ASMR. Yeah, I've been told that. Do you do gaming streams? I've just started watching a stream, so I wanted to ask. Yeah, sometimes I play. Chat, is weed better than cigarettes? Well, yes. Yes. I take cashews outside of the fruit. Yeah, I'm just still accepting that what you're saying is the truth. I'm not really sure if it is. Dabs at best, maybe not as healthy as normal weed though, lol. All art have some meaning some way. Yeah. And people think that there's an objective meaning to art, and therefore art is only good if you can get the meaning. But there is no the meaning. The best art is the art that doesn't have the meaning. In my opinion, the best art is the art which triggers meanings in loads of people. Completely different meanings too, you know. Fuck it, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a little smoke of the funny green lettuce, the devil's lettuce, because this headache is fucking killing me. And I won't do a lot. I'll be right back. I like to think that anybody who just like popped in on stream with a title that says just being and then I'm not there. It's a funny thought. I'm just gonna be well, I can't actually show it on YouTube streaming, so I'm just gonna be doing my taxes, I guess. My guy really be on to smoke. Yeah, it's just something that's I'm trying not to do it too much because it's not great mentally if you're just doing it all the time. Oh, whoops. Because well, it depends what you're using it for. If you're using it to numb out emotions that you find uncomfortable or upsetting, or just straight up depressing, then yeah, you are gonna get those emotions back tenfold later. It's kind of like a monkey's paw situation. Whereas if you are doing it moderately and just because you know what you're going to be doing, you know what you're having for fun, you know you're doing it to enhance an experience, for example, then yeah, you'll probably get what you desired because all of your intentions are focused into one place. If you're focusing on an intention to be like, I'm just going to do it so it'll make me feel better, that's the only reason, then you're always going to be disappointed because it's never going to feel as good. Especially when you're in control. Okay, so I just packed. I'll just be right back. He gone. He gone. Hello. Mostly use it for nausea and relaxation. Definitely overdid it this year, though. I feel that. One of my favorite quotes from Ram Dass is, he was talking to Duncan Trussell. For any of you who don't know, Ram Dass is like this, I would say, just because I'm me, I would say he's an enlightened being, a realized being like the Buddha or Jesus. Not that I worship him, but I don't worship the Buddha or Jesus either. I just sort of see them in the same sort of category, if you want. And Duncan was like, man, for like a whole 2 years, I think once, for 2 whole years straight, I was just high on weed. And Ram Dass is like, hey, we've all been there. So you have to understand, for me, somebody who sees Ram Dass as this insane, like, really just perfectly in the moment person, somebody who I aspire to be towards. Well, not exactly like him, because everybody's on their own special journey. It's quite beautiful, Do you listen to any podcasts? If so, what on and what podcasts? Mostly on Spotify and the individual websites they own. Is podcasts I used to watch listen to a while ago, which is great, is Welcome to Night Vale. I definitely recommend that if you're into like horror comedy. So if you're into my shit, then you definitely like Welcome to Night Vale. It's really fucking funny. But it's also, based around horror themes. If you want just like a straight up horror with not a lot of comedy, just like a straight up horror, we have the Magnus Archives, which is, it's very similar to SCP setting of a structure of horror, where each episode you have a guy reading out an interview with somebody who had experienced a really terrifying supernatural event, and as the guy's reading it, the acting gets better and better, and it's like you're really into the story and you're just sort of lost. And they're all original stories, and it's all read by like an archivist who's just trying to record digital versions of the files that he has. And every time you talk, I see smoke coming out of your mouth. Is that true? Does anybody else see that? And then there's like a story that goes on with the archivist in the background. Like he has a tape recorder on, and somebody bursts into his room. He's like, "Oh, did you see the worms have gotten out again? The big glow was like, oh no, the bloody worms, they've gotten out again. We have to." It's great. If you're into spirituality and shit, I suggest the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. I'm in the Discord server because I'm a patron of theirs. And if you're really into just like, Duncan Trussell's a comedian, for any of you who don't know. He voiced Clancy in the Midnight Gospel. The Duncan Trussell Family Hour is the podcast that the Midnight Gospel was made out of. So the audio, the podcast audio between the characters are all snippets from the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. So, absolutely, go check them out. Which country are you from, Lord Bong? I am from Australia. I've been taking ibuprofen almost every day for the last 8 years, so hopefully I don't melt from the inside out or something. Oh shit. As long as you aren't going over the limit between how much you do. But yeah, I can't take ibuprofen because of my antidepressants. So it's an interesting... My man's looking stoned. uh, maybe. How many mods watching the stream right now? I got a few. Got a few good boys. Have you seen Wisecrack's video about the Midnight Gospel? Yes, I have. They made a very good point about, which I think is the most important part before before understanding spirituality, is that there are so many people who go into it without understanding the point of it, that they end up just going into a lifestyle of avoidance instead of a lifestyle of acceptance. And they would try to use mythical imagery and mystical imagery from Eastern religion and culture in a way where it's just an interesting talking point, an interesting way of viewing their life, but they don't live the life, you know. Can I be a good girl mod? Thank you, Nikki, but the mods I kind of have to trust. Like, I knew them before I decided that they were mods. Paracetamol and ibuprofen are both bad for you. It's true. They do different things, though. So I use paracetamol as painkillers. Maybe that's been fucking me up. Who knows? Australia is a country and a continent. Yeah, I think it is. Although it never gets represented as a continent. It's always like Oceania in the Olympics, for example. How do you get inspired to make creative projects? Do you have a process, or is it just a spur-of-the-moment thing? Just wondering. Well, it's always spontaneous. But the nature of creativity, well, okay, some artists look at a blank page and then they stare at it for a while until they get bored enough that it inspires creativity. And that works a little bit. For me, it does a little bit. But what you do is you just expose yourself to new experiences. And, you know, that could be something as simple as just watching a different show every day, or like a different movie, which for some people is even pretty rough. But being spontaneous really helps. You know, you spontaneously make a decision without really, within reason, I guess. You just spontaneously make a decision, and you just go ahead and do it, and because you think it might be fun. If you start thinking like, this might be fun in the alternate timeline where I was really into, I don't know, trying out tennis or something, just spontaneously do it, you know? You could jump into that dimension. I am now in the dimension where I play tennis. Or I'm now in the dimension where I decided that I like tennis, and I'm going to stop playing tennis. It's like, well, yeah, that's what you did. You chose to. You just decided to. Go ahead and do it. Put yourself in an awkward situation in which it's hard to avoid it, you know? But being spontaneous is a great way to experience new things. And experiencing new things is a great way to improve your art, because your art gains new dimensions. Not just ideas of what to draw, but the dimension of which is how you're going to present that drawing. And I don't just mean mediums. When I mean dimension, I mean like, you might all of a sudden realize you really like looking at things from a certain angle. And it doesn't sound amazing when I'm saying it like that. It just sounds like some dumb, weird OCD thing. But you might actually like things from a certain angle, or you might see something that you weren't expecting to see that really caught your eye. And a lot of the time, you have to be bored when you realize that you're inspired by something. So do things even if they might get boring. Because then you might be walking home one day from your learning how to speak in sign language class, and then you see a mural in an alleyway. And you're like, holy fuck, this is incredible. And that should be a sign, if you're listening to that sign in yourself to learn how to improve your art, then you'll go like, well, wait, hold on. Why do I think that looks cool? I should look up more stuff that looks like that. Oh my god. And you go down a rabbit hole of all this art that you like. But it involves being spontaneous above all. You know, it doesn't matter which path you choose. Okay. I don't know what paracetamol does. So, in terms of the bad. So, maybe somebody could tell me. What kind of banana you eat? Cavendish banana. I have trouble getting started on personal projects, so that was a great insight. I'll keep the dimension hopping tennis thing in mind. Art constantly evolves alongside humans. Yeah, the Tibetans have a great definition for what good art is. They say good art is based on how much it changed the artist. Whoa. And it's really beautiful, I think, because it's almost like a reverse, not a reverse in definition, but like a backwards way of saying what I just said about how new experiences is what provides more unique art, more truthful art. It has to do with you being authentic. Bad for your liver. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I have a bad liver, so maybe I should stop taking paracetamol. Art is holding up a mirror to the world. Yes, I love that quote. I got a theory that Connor is one of the salesman's quote-unquote products. Oh, that's a pretty good theory. If you had to choose another country to be born in apart from Australia, what would it be and why? I would choose Norway. Well, you see, I'm not sure I don't know if I'm just looking into the question wrong, but if I was to be reborn, then my choice doesn't really matter, because what I like is already influenced by what's happened since I was born already. So I might be like, oh, maybe I'd like to be in Norway. But that's because me, Danny, who has grown up over these 25 years, has grown to really enjoy a lot of scenic photographs of Norway. I think I'm like, wow, I'd really like to live there. You know? So it doesn't really matter, I guess, because I think I could probably, if I could reach the state that I'm at right now, I'm not saying it's a high state, but I'm high, but if I could come to the same place of spirituality that I'm at right now, then I don't think it matters which country I'm in. I think if anything, a country with a lower living standard might reach me to that place sooner. And we're talking in this assuming way that I will become the same person no matter where I grow up, which isn't true. There's no way. Not saying that it's a high state. I mean, I'm high, but my anxiety. Well, everything increases when I'm high, but when I'm high, it's more like my anxiety is done in this playful way, or nowadays at least. I hate these custom emotes. The dabbing. Oh man, good luck, Nikki. I was just reading up, catching up with this goddamn stream, me rambling. Do you know way? You're looking into the damn question so much. It's a simple question, just answer it. Whoa. Okay, well, I don't have to answer it. I'm just streaming. I'm just reading out what people are typing to me so I could learn about my parasocial relationship with them. Yeah, it's just that when people ask these questions, I don't know which part they find interesting about the question, so I just explore what I find interesting about the question. I'm sorry for making you mad. I think I would like to move to Canada. Because it seems close enough to here in terms of social progressiveness and actual implemented programs and laws. And also, I have friends in Canada. I have more friends in America, but I'd rather be in Canada. I think art is about how it's different than everything. It will be. It'll always end up being different from everything if you're being authentic to yourself. Because it might look the same, but it might look the same in one way. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of maybe, let's say politics. Let's say, okay, you could have two paintings, and they're both paintings of pineapples or something, and they both look pretty similar. But if you know the context behind one painting is actually like, this is actually SpongeBob's house, and the other painting is something political about, I don't know, pineapple is suddenly relevant in politics, I guess. And you're looking at them, they are completely different paintings. I'm not really sure how I got there, actually. About what country you like the most aside from Australia. Yeah, maybe Canada. I'd like to visit there. Although I do want to visit Germany just because I want to find where my ancestors lived. Might give me some interesting perspective on life. What's your favorite part of the world and why? Just food for thought, you know. I don't know. It's all so beautiful. You know, it's just all tied together. It only exists because everything else exists. It's hard for me to pick favorites anymore with these things. It sucks. Well, it doesn't suck because it's kind of beautiful. But, I'm trying to think of a really nice winter place right now, and then it immediately gets distracted with like a really nice summer place, and then a really nice like pine forest, kind of Gravity Falls shit. You know, it's crazy. On a scale of 1 to frog, what is the best animal? Fucking orangutans. Get that frog shit out of here. I like how genuine this stream is. I'm glad. Pineapple politics. What inspired you to make Confinement? I wanted to tell a story of, I guess, what was happening at the time in my life without making it obviously about me. So I had this idea for a short film. It was going to be a one-off. Oh, honestly, bro, you're a babe and your content makes me moist. Take a second to reflect that your content has shaped the memories of millions of people. Oh my god. Thank you, Artificial. Has shaped the memories of millions of people. That's crazy. That's still something I can't really wrap my brain around. Butter dog. Dog with the butters. Thank you, Artificial. That's really cool. Bong, give me back my Wi-Fi, please. Okay, Wi-Fi has been returned. I just needed to borrow it because I'm in space. I heard Yellowknife, Canada is very good for viewing the Northern Lights. Always wanted to visit there. That sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting. Hey, Gudo. What is your opinion on Australia's internet problem? I don't remember what the problem is. I know there is one, and my friends tell me about it all the time, and I just keep fucking forgetting. Something about NBN. It's my 7th year of chakra meditation. What's your thoughts on chakra and past lives? Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Hold on one second. In 20 years, bro, I'll still see this show and be like, whoa, I grew up on this. Need to binge this stuff at the 37th time. Oh, thank you so much, Artificial, for another $10 and for that very loving, sincere comment. Thank you. Yeah, I've tried chakras before, and I really like the idea of them, because when you remove the mysticism from chakras, it's literally just addressing some very broad psychological cornerstones in your central, like these very prominent areas of your mind, using these symbols and associating them with parts of the body for poetic reasons, but also because different emotions and sensations in your mind trigger different sensations in your body, to the point where you can think that you're depressed or anxious just because you might be having a bad stomach. You stole it yesterday. You went in space. You were watching Night at Museum number 3. My internet got stolen too. We were both wronged. Whoops, we're back now. Yay. Been bamboozled. Thank you again, Artificial. I don't know if the stream cut out before I said thank you. Visualization of non-physical traits leads to control. It definitely helps. And one of the chakras is control as well. It's just funny, we have to visualize control to have control. But it does help. I mean, all you're doing is focusing on it, giving attention to it. And when you give attention to parts of your body that you've been ignoring, well, it kind of sends a message to your brain that, like, you are aware of this and you are taking care of it, and you're not going to let it overwhelm you when it happens, because you are acknowledging it. You are, in other words, heading face on with your anxieties or your desires or your things that trigger things in your life, you know. You are addressing it without having to say anything crazy and poetic to it like in the movies. You just look at it. You have a fear, you just look at the fear, accept that you have a fear. And that's really all you have to do. I'll get you some Ghost Monkey GIF. Has anyone really been far even as decide to use even go want to do look more like... Fucking love that meme. Hey Bung, what about Skimbleshanks the railway cat? Get the fuck out of here. It was Skimbleshanks the railway cat. Continue your confinement story. Oh yeah. Yeah, I wanted to make a short film about based on sort of like Area 51 type comedy, like SCP type comedy, where somebody just works in this secret facility and he's having quite a miserable day because of how strict and orderly and violent and terrible the workplace is. Do you stand or do you sit while wiping? Also, I want the chat to argue about their own wiping preference. Personally, I'm a normal human and I sit. Thank you, TP Fradin, for the $5 and for invoking that earth-shattering question. I sit. So imagine that. What was I saying? Yeah, so I wanted to have a short film, and it was just going to be like this about this guy who works at a facility who ends up just sort of losing his mind because of how terrible it is there. Um, and he ends up, energy-wise, sort of like the way he lives his life, he ends up becoming more like the monsters that he's trying to keep up, locked behind the glass and the bars, than the other people working around him, which is just meant to be like a metaphor for him letting out his demons. But in like a fun way. It was going to be like a fun kind of short film where a guy just finally lets loose and causes a lot of destruction, but it's okay because the place is kind of shitty anyway. You know. And then I ended up doing confinement instead because that was a lot easier at first. Yeah, the first episode of confinement was easier to do. Bro, what if you were high but you like actually did get abducted by aliens? I think about shit like that all the time. Not the aliens, but like, so what if you know, what if I'm smoking right now and then I get kidnapped? Or, you know, not like not in an anxiety, paranoid way, just like, wouldn't this be funny? But actually, it's mostly funny. You know. Wiping is overrated. Fucking fantastic. Oh my god, I can see your face. I've been watching for years. Oh, people are actually like saying what they do when they wipe. But don't do it. Don't fall for it. Hey, another question. Ever think about animating someone eating a full stick of butter? Yeah, I'm thinking about that now. I'm really thinking about that now. Yeah. Personally working on a comedy show about cryptids. Plan on pitching it to Adult Swim when I get the pilot filmed. Hell yeah. You go do that. Good luck to you. DeLonk 10. When is there going to be more confinement? You'll just have to be patient. It's coming. Right now I'm streaming, so I'm not gonna be working on it while I'm streaming. Sometimes I do, but I really don't like doing that. I work on it when things are quiet, when I don't have to worry about anything. I used to smoke grams of DMT and did lots of LSD and went through some crazy stuff high. Yeah, I bet. Man, as long as you're not, as long as that isn't your entire life, it's good to have variety of everything. What on earth is this chat? It is what it is, Some people are upset about anime being, hentai being banned in Australia. Why is there just Australia? Well, this is some artwork I did for NIDOC Week, which is an observation of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture in this country that, they own, really. And I wanted to show my respect because I am deeply interested in how people who have actually lived with the land for thousands of years operate, and how they live spiritually. And it's a completely different culture from what I'm used to. The processes of thinking to get from one place to another, just like, oh yeah, and then the knight saved the princess, kind of like the assumptions that I fill in when I'm listening to a mythical story are completely different. And I have to understand things in such a different way. It's crazy, what the fuck does this mean? Does it have a meaning? Is meaning important in their culture? You know, like all of these contexts that I have to rewire myself to. It's really interesting. Used to be I quit super sober now. Oh, there you go. You do you. You're on your journey, whatever it is. When is the face reveal? Oh, anime isn't banned, it's just hentai. Chat full of people that just want to vibe with other humans that have the same thoughts and ideas as each other, and it is amazing. Well, some of it is, you know. I think the people who stay around the longest end up doing it. And then every now and then you still have people coming like, when's the next episode? You know. Have you heard of VPNs? Yes, I have. I have one. I wanted to make my show on YouTube, but I can't animate myself. Your series kind of inspired me, to be honest. Oh, there you go. I hope you find an animator. I kind of want to leave, but for some reason I feel captivated to stay. What spell did you cast to make me stay, Magic Man? I don't know what it is. Maybe a part of you wants to stay. Maybe a part of you is afraid because you're worried something else will be more boring elsewhere than me. I don't know. But you do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna try and guilt you into staying. As an Aboriginal Australian, I appreciate you, and I'm so happy there is at least someone looking into my people's stories and cultures. It means a lot. Hell yeah. Where do you go when you want to make a creative project like a play animations? Just wondering. I don't have much connection in my town, so like I've got scripts and musical compositions, but still. Oh, interesting. You want to go like really traditional. Not traditional, but like old school. Just like actually going out, physically meeting people. University is pretty good. You could find just classes that are the closest to art that you could probably find, and that'll probably be a good place to start. I don't really know where else. I don't know what your town's like, and even I don't even know how to do this kind of stuff myself. I met all of my connections online. Just don't want the project to die. Oh, Carter, don't worry, it's not gonna die. And it's definitely not gonna be kept alive through people reminding me. You know, this is my entire life. This is like I wake up remembering that this is what I do every single day. You don't need to tell me to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it anyway. And if you think that I'm going to forget, if you think that I need to be reminded in this way, then you don't trust that this show even exists, because I just make it. It doesn't make sense to tell me to do it. If anything, it's just gonna make me not want to do it. You know, because like my entire everything that I have right now is owed to this, to the existence of this show. I can't forget that, and that's a positive connotation. The negative connotations I get are when people are aggressive with me, or like really, really stubborn and repetitive with me about the show. That's a negative connotation. Like, okay, well, I love making confinement, but I hate dealing with this. You know? So, yeah. Listen, honestly, your work I enjoy, even if it took a year to make a new episode. So honestly, relax with it, and I feel we'll be around still for you and your content. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to um, what is it? Yeah, I'm gonna be doing what I'm gonna be doing anyway. I'm gonna be working on it at my speed. Um, I just feel like I needed to express that because I feel like I can't right now because I'm high. That like, cause I don't usually bring it up how I feel when people talk about episode 8. Like, when's the next episode? Yeah, because usually it's not a big deal, and it still isn't a big deal. But I thought I'd like to explore those feelings, see like how I feel about it. Do you have any supernatural stories that have happened in your life? You could say that, I guess. But I've told that story a lot. It's like everyone looks at you like a monkey to entertain. It sucks. You're so much more than just the episodes you put out. Thank you. Hi, Weeds. Yeah, and I'm not gonna sit on here just like complaining seriously um, uh, about how I am viewed because obviously I don't get to choose that. That's not my. That's not just me. Um, there is a massive amount of like things that I didn't want when signing up for this, but there are also a massive amount of things that I did want. So it's just kind of the karma, the cause and effect of it all. If I want to play the game of being a big famous internet man, then I also have to deal with this weird sort of dimension of digital, not real people that, I mean, they are real, but because it's through the filter of the internet, it becomes a completely different world that's different from reality. Um, all these weird things, it's hard to explain. You kind of have to just be here, I guess. But I like where I'm at right now, you know? I can't remember what we were talking about, sorry. I shouldn't have. No, I chose to smoke. Hey Bung, why do you like orangutans holding hands? Because they're fucking adorable, look at them. Look at them, just goofy little monkeys. I was just spawning the mud, but fair enough, that makes sense. I didn't mean to sound aggressive, I wanted to seem supportive. No, I appreciate you wanting to show your support. That's how I usually interpret it. Is like when people want to see episode 8, I remind myself that it was because they like your stuff, man. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. But there's no way for me to really tell the intention behind the person saying it. So I just wanted to bring that up because that's the only other intention I could think of right now, aside from the positive one. Man, those orangutans are just vibing. Who doesn't like vibing orangutan friends? Amen. Dude, Australia's so heavy it can't float. Good point. What if we are the entertaining monkeys and the monkeys are actually just hyper intelligent? That would be a real great twist. I would really like that. Yeah. And like they ended up, of course, suffering in some cases, but in a way, what if they were in control the whole time and they wanted everything to happen the way that it did to teach them a lesson? Maybe the monkeys used to be super hyper intelligent in some previous life and they came to here to learn to be humbled and limited in this way. But we could just say the same about every human being and every living thing's reincarnation and every infinite repeating time. I'm a huge fan of a question. Which part of the confinement is your personal favorite? whatever my last one is always my favorite. That's just sort of my rule, because I end up adding something new each episode, and my taste ends up changing between each episode. You know, it's kind of crazy. I almost feel bad for people who become big online and can no longer have similar, more intimate reactions with other communities, at least on a personal one-to-one level. I suppose it's necessary, though. Yeah, I mean, it can also hinder anything else that you might want to do socially, because it's so much easier to be social online than it is to be in real life. So if you end up succeeding online, then you might not have any incentive to go and talk to people in real life. Thankfully for me, I've gotten back into socializing in real life. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But I'm learning, you know? I just ended up getting this advantage at a young age, and thought like, well, okay, well, I don't need to do any of that shit out there. I'm getting everything I need right here. But I wasn't. But I simply was not. And now it's a lot easier for me to talk to people, although it isn't that easy for me to talk to people who are really shy, I find, because I end up mirroring their shyness somehow. That is something that I find interesting. I think it's because I might relate to it too much, and it might trigger something in me that puts me into that same shyness. Or maybe because I think that I'm scaring them, and I'm like, oh shit, why are they so shy? Or like, I feel like I have to do something extra, I guess, and that puts me in a panic, and then I don't know what to do, and then I'm shy suddenly. You know, it's kind of like a weird circle. It's like it's contagious. The internet is like an alternate universe, because on the internet we are all different than in real life. That's true. We express ourselves differently. If I had a nickel for every time a cult blew up a nuclear bomb in the Aussie outback, I'd have 1 nickel, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened at all. But here's the thing, though. I've never seen a depressed monkey. They're always vibing, so maybe we're the ones doing something wrong here. Did the human race done do a goof? I truly believe that monkeys do know where it's at, which is right now, the present moment, being. That's what the stream title is, just being, because it's about being. Monkeys know how to just be. They're not thinking about tomorrow. I'm sorry for my shyness. No, it's okay. You don't have to apologize for that, because I'm also shy, and shyness gets sort of brought out in me with other people who are shy, but it's okay because we're both shy, so it's like nobody's being hurt. It's just an interesting phenomenon I notice, that because I used to be quite shy, that shyness is still something that gets brought out in me pretty easily. What was I saying? Oh, about monkeys, yeah. So monkeys are living in the present moment. They aren't thinking about tomorrow, and therefore they aren't comparing their days. They aren't saying this is a shitty day, this is a good day tomorrow. They are just living in the present moment. What is happening right now has been happening for a million years, you know. And they're looking at it as if it was the first time they've ever seen it. You know, like dogs. You know, when you have a dog, you take them out for a walk. Or like a baby, they're just looking at everything like, whoa, wow, what is that? What is this shit? They're having the fucking best time of their life because they're receiving the universe instead of blocking it off. They have their eyes open, they have their ears open, they're paying attention to what's going on around them instead of thinking about the future or the past, you know? It's empathy. We usually mirror other people's behavior, even subconsciously. That's interesting, because I don't often hear empathy used in that way. But I guess that's what it is, right? You are just mirroring what is happening in the moment of it happening. Do you have any plans for something else once confinement is completed? Storytelling and art is wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Sean. Yeah, I was really interested in a Transformers thing, but I'm not really sure. There are depressed monkeys, unfortunately. Oh yeah, I do hear about those, which is interesting. That like the more intelligent an animal gets. I mean, the more likely they are to be depressed. Is a cannon that kind of has a massive schlonga? Yes, it's canon. Did your butt heal up okay? Yeah, that's pretty good. You sound like Alan Watts XP the Eternal now. Oh yeah. Why do we live for tomorrow? This is something that I find quite ridiculous. It's a travesty that we don't live in the present moment. An old Zen teacher said, "He who smelt it, dealt it." How did this get to Monkey? It's always been about Monkey, if you were listening. So Bong, do you have like community Discord group thingy? Also, I've been showing up for these streams a lot lately, and I can't help but just vibe Lamau. So thanks for that, dude. No worries. Not an alien. Yeah. Malarinky just sent a Discord link in the chat. You pop in. If you have art or something that you'd like to show off, there's a chat for that, and people can check you out. You can get certain roles for what you do and how you like to express yourself online, essentially. There are two types of empathy. One is learned and one you're born with. You see it heavily in children is how they learn. It's why we usually grow up like our parents, even when we try not to, I guess. That's interesting. So this automatic unconscious state of mirroring people is how we as children learn how to have these emotions. And then the other one is and essentially becomes learned, but the mechanism is still there. That's interesting. What'd you do if you had Connor's abilities with and without the foundation in it? You personally give even less of a crap and vibe with just break and run and what they're gonna do, shoot me. Oh man, my brain shut down while I was reading that. I'm so sorry. What would you do if you had Connor's abilities with and without the foundation in it? You personally give even less of a crap and vibe with just break and run. Holy shit. I think if I had that ability, it'll be very interesting. I'm not really sure how my life would go. I think I'd probably just continue to live my life normally, and I would just be maybe a little bit less. Maybe I'd be even more carefree. I don't know. Self-awareness is a burden, in my opinion, which I know is pretty cynical and not exactly the most happiest of opinions, but understanding the burden doesn't hinder my personal happiness, lol. Yeah, like, if you choose to view it as a burden, then it's going to be a burden, but if you choose to look at it as a fun gift or a tool that you can use every now and then without getting too addicted to it, then it'll be exactly that, you know? It's always been about perspective. What's going on? I'm very confused. That's fine. We all are. I would rather fight 100 monkey-sized elephants. Would you rather fight 100 monkey-sized elephants or one elephant-sized monkey? 100 monkey-sized elephants, I think. Yeah, 100 monkey-sized elephants. If the monkeys are really small, I guess. Although it would be really depressing just knocking over all these little elephants. Oh, no. Can I just, like, just put them in a box or something? Just look at the time and it's 4:30 a.m. Rest in peace, the Shrek musical. I'm so sorry. That's what you get for being the Shrek musical. Had to leave for a split second to verify my Discord account. Hope I didn't miss any epic bong moments. Oh, don't worry. Although I do need a pee, so it might have been better if I lined that up with you needing to duck out. But I didn't know. So I'll be right back. Alright. Dude gotta piss. He's going to pee-pee, no way. Here I go, taking over the stream again. Pulls out guitar. Just like the Discord. Yeah, Sarah, get you singing in here. Only once did not take a number 8 in a stream. A number 8? The fuck are you talking about? Fucking number 8. Oh man, 4qEvhnyKT, you're gonna have to not take so many of those. I think you better keep them away from you. Me and the boys when the teacher leaves the classroom. Gotta leave for a second, hope I don't miss much. Oh, you won't, I'm just vibing. But there is so much muchness when nothing is happening. We the monkeys. Hey, Alex. What are your thoughts? It just ends there. That's a good question. Bong, where's my goodnight kiss, bro? As long as you're an adult. I'm used to singing and performing in front of like 12 peeps at a time, not 100 and a bit. That's fair. That's very fair, girl. You're gonna have to be patient, David Kim. It's coming, but you're gonna have to be patient. Oh, don't say that, Antonio. Oh, my big beautiful boy. Thank you, Alex. I am simply vibing out. How was your piss bong? It was pretty good. It was pretty good, actually. Yeah, every piss is pretty good. You know, a good practice into beginning a certain mystic spiritual methods into oneness is to pretend that every time you piss that it's the first time you've ever pissed in your life. And I don't mean that by just like pissing yourself. I mean every time you go to the bathroom to piss, just pretend that like somebody's just like hyped you up for it. They're like, bro, you never pissed before? Oh, you're gonna love this shit. Just go over to the, and then, you know how to do it. Obviously, don't make a mess. Just do it and be like, wow. Hey, Bung, how are we holding up? Good, bad, or a little bit of both? A little bit of both, but I think anybody who's been watching the stream since the start can tell that my mood has improved. I'm being less affected by the physical pains of my sickness, and that's the main reason I've been smoking, which I have to be careful about because, you know, I could obviously overdo it. Bang, are you musically talented in any way? Also hope you enjoyed my In the Pines. Not gonna lie, I should have got a drink before singing. Well, I loved your singing. And not really. I mean, I write a lot of I write the lyrics to all of the songs I've ever had on my channel. It's just that I don't make the instrumental parts. Such a good stream to just listen to while playing video games. I'm glad. Just wanted to say I love and really enjoy your content. Thank you, David Kim. May I use you as a reason why I'm not working? I feel dead procrastinating, but I feel dead in general, so ha. Yeah, I mean, I could be part of your reasons, but, you know, you do what you do, you know? You don't have to call it procrastinating. You can just call it part of the progress, part of the process could just be resting. Because if you're working all the time, then your skills and your sharpness are going to deteriorate, and you're going to fuck up more. So resting is part of the process. If you see it as procrastinating, you're only going to feel shit the whole time doing it. You know? In order to achieve true Zen, I must piss myself repeatedly. Odd advice, but advice nonetheless. There you go. You got it. Hey, Bonnie, how's it going? Not bad. It's going a bit better. Have you ever considered doing art or animation? I'm not sure how good you are, but you seem to have the personality for it. You could use this serious confinement for inspiration. If one I died, you could never know. I find that reassuring. I don't want to be seen so damn pathetic. Lol. Good night and have a good day. Well, I mean, I can tell that you don't actually deeply, truly want to die because you're talking about it. You're hoping that somebody would maybe bounce you away from it just a little bit longer. So I trust the part in you that wants to live. I believe in that part in you that wants to live. So you can keep telling yourself all of these negative things about yourself, but there is obviously a part of you that wants to live. And I just hope that that part succeeds. You know, because you are capable of being loved. You are all capable of being loved. You know, we're told so many times throughout our life that we are only allowed to be loved under certain conditions. And that's because people want to control you, but when you remove that control, really, you know you are capable of being loved. But you should definitely recognize when it's procrastinating, otherwise you're never going to get anything done. That's true. I mean, obviously I don't really know how crazy the shit is in your school. But these things are achievable, but they are not achievable if you have a strict mindset about having to do it all the time. Like, all of your free time must be dedicated to this. I don't know, I hope it makes sense. Hey, glad I can make you laugh despite you not having a good day. Hell yeah. Thank you. Alright, deadass, you've answered like all my questions so far and I've never felt more blessed. How could you boost my mood like that? Shaking my head. It'd be like that. You know, I mean, a part of it is random where I just like sometimes don't see a question. But also the people who ask the sincere questions where it's like, oh, I can tell this person is actually asking for something sincerely. And that it's interesting. I'm more likely to read it, I think. And then there are some things I just don't have any opinions on. The only people incapable of being loved are people who beat their pets. And see, that's the sad part, is that the pet would still love them to a degree. Which means they are capable of being loved. Every single person is. I know the point you're trying to make, like, these people are terrible. But their action is what's terrible. People can have, at one point in their life, abused animals, and then at another point in their life realize that, holy shit, I did something terrible, and I'm going to stop that, you know? Because a lot of it is cultural as well. A lot of it is just like in a place that you're born. If your parents maybe didn't have a respectful attitude towards life in some way, then that might come off as you abusing your animals or your children when you grow up, you know, because you deep down you have these different standards for what it is to be angry and what it is to treat other people in different ways. Are we getting more SCP videos? Of course. wish I didn't have to dedicate all my time to schoolwork, but there's really no such thing as free time in the eyes of a teacher. Yeah, unfortunately, their only incentive is for you to do exactly the curriculum that they have. They don't, at least I haven't experienced many teachers or counselors that have helped me realize that it's a bit more complicated than that. And I don't know. For some reason, I had a hard time in school. I don't know why. I think maybe it was part of my anxiety. I would just overthink things, and then I would panic, and then I would give up because it would just cause too much stress. And the stress causes this terrible, shitty feeling that seems to be unique to people who had anxiety. And it was really hard to explain to people who didn't have anxiety. And then I would just feel like, okay, well, it's my fault then, I guess. Like, there's something, maybe I'm just weak. Maybe I'm just a weak person and I could grow stronger. And then I'd have another panic attack and think, no, I'm so fucking weak. How did I? You know, there are so many different things that come into it, I guess. The reason you procrastinate is because you don't want to do what you need. Learn how to want it, and everything will be easy. Because you don't want to do what you need. Learn how to want it, and everything will be easy. Yeah, learn how to want it. That's a good way of saying it. What I do is I sort of just approach it without any expectations. I try to. I mean, it's really hard, but I try to, because the expectation is completely, well, it's useless. It'll just deter me from it. It'll be like, no, this will be too hard. You should just do this instead, or you should check out this. It's just trying to distract me from doing what I know I need to do if I need to learn something new. LeBlanc, please say gua gua. Gua gua. I love my vacuum robot. If this can be love, everybody else can be loved. Absolutely, Sandra Nana. So true. What the fuck? You just said the saddest thing I've ever heard. The dog still loving the animal beater. Yeah, have you never heard of abusive relationships? These things happen. I'm sorry that you have to find out through these streams, but these streams do get heavy sometimes. I've hurt my puppy. I love him, but it feels terrible. But I have these outbursts, and it's so bad. I need to fix it. I don't do it often. I mean, that doesn't mean it's justified, but I need to control my emotions. Well, it's not about control. It's good that you're admitting this, because it's the first important thing is to accept that what you've done is what you've done, and nothing you can say or think now is going to change that. That doesn't mean that that people's judgments of you need to get to you, because it really shouldn't be about people judging you either, or you judging yourself. It's just about you acknowledging what you want and then going for it. And what you want is to not be destructive in your when your emotions rise, and that's a very noble thing. I think that's a very good direction. And because you want it, just really lean into that want. See what that want is about. See how your mind works best in terms of how you talk to it and how it talks to you. It's been a long time since I read it, but Romeo and Juliet eventually both died despite so much potential. If they stayed together, the families would have had a future not corrupted by competition. Yeah, that's probably what makes it an even bigger tragedy than just the romantic level. You have like the houses that'll never love each other. And that's what I think, as cheesy as it is, Romeo and Juliet, they kind of have an ending where they don't die. And then the families get together. So that kind of works out. And that's kind of a spoiler if you haven't seen Romeo and Juliet, I guess. If you give us a top 10 or top 5 Bungs video game list, cheers in advance. There are games that aren't out yet that I really want to try. There's one called Dead Static Drive. It's really good. Well, it looks really good. It's not out yet, but I really, really, really want to fucking play it. Night in the Woods is a good indie game, I guess. There's also one called Oxenfree. can't think of any others right now. I think Another World is a really old one, but I really enjoy that one. Do you listen to Akira, The Dawn at Hall at all? He makes music out of all kinds of philosophy and speakers. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like musicians who do that, so I'll check them out. If you were to start animation, I think you should do it based off the SCP Foundation. It's pretty cool. You could voice a D class maybe. That would be pretty fun. I don't know. I'd watch it. Thank you, Sarah. Just to inform the chat, the orangutans holding hands are actually both females. Yes. Yes. First orangutan lesbian representation of 2020. And it's on my stream. I've accidentally jumped out of the International Space Station without my spacesuit. What do I do? You like and subscribe, and then I might tweet out to NASA, and they might see it because I have a pretty big Twitter account, I guess. I don't know how it works. Maybe I don't have a big enough account. Romeo and Juliet soundtrack slap, to be honest. Bung likes Night in the Woods. Bung is a furry, y'all. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm a furry now. Bung, your legend, Oxenfree and Hello Charlotte are literally my top 3 video games alongside Off. So thank you very much for that. Hell yeah. I hope you enjoy being on the server, not an alien. I'm gonna check out the server. Let's see what's going on in that funky little realm. Checking out the server. Welcome everyone. Alright. Thanks for reminding me about Romeo and Juliet. No worries, Shrek the Musical. LGBT monkey. Based lesbian monkeys. Alright, here's a pitch. You voice act a D-class who can respawn after death and is basically immortal, and the series follows his wacky adventures. Oh, that's it. I'm dropping Bong Chronicles right now. Wait, I'm back in. I can get the Space Coke and the Space Coca-Cola. Ah, there you go. Imagine being in space and also being on any kind of drugs. Holy moly. Are you good to your mum, Bung? Today I bought my mum a Dyson. Yeah, I'm good to my mum. That's really good that you bought her a Dyson, unless she didn't want one and you were just telling her to clean up. Any chance you will sire 20 kids to upstage 19 kids and counting? Oh man, could you imagine? I'd have to be in a really crazy good position for that. Telling me that all this time Bung has had a Discord server? Yeah. You get special perks if you're a patron, but yeah, you can just pop in there. Sometimes I'm in general, usually I'm in Patreon. The Patreon, the invisible Patreon chats. You said the N-word? No, I didn't. Did I? Moderator, what happened? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Oh. Hotline Miami gameplay. This is a bit of a dumb question coming from somebody who's 18, but like, What are drugs like? Good, bad, kind of both. Got any wild stories that haven't already been told? There's some pretty funny ones. I mean, the first time I tried drugs actually was with my moderator Malrinkai. Did you draw Kangaroo Island bong? Yep, there it is. It's not a dumb question, you know, like, you just didn't end up finding the drugs. It's fine. It's not that easily available. So the first time I did it, I was in a shed, a little tiny shed in Malrinkai's backyard. And I was there with my boys Mike and Alex, who were in the stream earlier. And he gave me this dingy little plastic bottle bong. I was like, whoa, it's gotta be weed. The first time I ever smoked weed. And then I tried it, and I felt like I was in a wind tunnel. I was like, and I remember it started when I was on my phone. I was like, oh, nothing's happening. And then I started typing on my phone. I was like, oh, it feels kind of funny. And then suddenly all the letters started changing sizes, and it was kind of hard to focus on where everything was. It's hard to explain what drugs feel like to somebody who hasn't done drugs, because it shakes up your reality in such a way that you perceive everything completely differently. It's almost like having an orgasm for the first time. You can't actually explain how it feels. You could just be like, oh, it's great, dude, it's fucking sick. No, it's indescribable. And that's the same as drugs. These are what some spiritual people call awakenings. Some people call shiftings of consciousness, because your perception of reality gets shaken up in a way where things are... You're not so certain of things anymore, in a good way, because usually you come down from the drug and you're like, oh, okay, everything's back to normal again. But suddenly you don't take the universe so seriously in this anxious way. I mean, sometimes you do. Again, it's everybody has their own different journey. I can only talk about my journey. But yeah, my universe kind of got shook up. I didn't really know it was real. Time didn't work. And then I came back and I was like, wow, interesting. Yeah, I kept saying shit like there's nature behind me, because it felt like just felt like I was in a train station. Like, it was just crazy. How is this the second time I've heard this story tonight? Oh, whoopsies. Weed is fine, fentanyl is bad. Yeah, that's fair enough. Change of perception is nice. It is really nice, as long as you don't get addicted to the sensation of it. Or you don't end up using it the same way people would use alcohol in a negative connotation. It's all up to what you're using it for, and each moment that you're using it. It was a good bonding experience. Yeah, it was. I remember screaming the word Sparkinson's disease. I screamed Sparkinson's disease. Because I was trying to explain that it's a tasteless joke, but I was trying to say that, like, my hands are shaking, like, do I have Sparkinson's? But the funniest part of it was just the Sparkinson's and not what I was trying to say. So it ended up going from a bad joke to a good joke again. Bathtub drugs are bad. The reasons why they're called bathtub drugs is because they're easy to make in a bathtub. They can be extremely deadly or used like a poison. I have no idea what a bathtub drug is. You be time traveling. I was time traveling. Because, well, I didn't realize that when I tried weed for the first time, but the first time I had my astral projection moment, that's when I truly came to understand that time is up here. And before then, I knew time was up here. I was like, yeah, of course it does. Like, and but like as because I was like intellectual or whatever, you know. But I didn't truly understand until it happened to me that I was in a place that was outside of time. Truly, just such a quiet mind. LSD seriously changed my life. I dealt with a lot of bad mental illnesses, and it brought me out of a 10-year-ish long depression. Same, brother. Or sister, or other. Although I don't know if 10-year depression, it was kind of like a chaotic, manic anxiety and depression. And then I took a lot of LSD one night. Because I was quite depressed and I was trying to black myself out in drugs. And then my head exploded and time broke and all of reality came disappearing around me and I was terrified and I was panicking. I thought I was dying and then whoa. And I don't recommend it I don't want people to go out there and go and break their minds and have ego deaths and stuff. It's just something that happened to me. And I was lucky enough to get out of it, I guess. And it doesn't mean I'm cured or anything. It just means that I've been exposed to a completely different way of living, completely different way of seeing the universe and really experiencing things. And that was what I learned from that. And I just kind of have been living my life from that experience. Took what I learned from it and moved on with my life, you know, what I needed to learn, which is wisdom, you know, which is very important, much more important than knowledge. And as I grow older, I'm going to learn all these things in a much more intimate way. I'm making almond milk with bitter almonds. Why does it smell like cyanide? I feel like sleeping. Uh-oh. Be careful. You all good, Bone? Yeah, I'm good. Just reading chat. Dude, I didn't assume think it would be wacky, silly, and an actual advice that makes sense. Uh-oh. That was your mistake. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. I'm just vibing right now. I just ingested 69 ounces of ketamine. Shut up. You shut your mouth. Apple seeds also contain cyanide. That's the craziest thing. Been thinking about apple seeds for a while now. Not really, actually. I haven't been. I don't know why I'm lying. Bruh. 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 Bum. 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 Ba-da bum. 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 Ba-da bum. 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 Ba-da bum. 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 Ba-da bum. 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 I experienced ketamine before when I broke my arm about a month and a half ago. It was weird as hell. Uh-oh. Be careful with that. I mean, oh, it already happened. What's happening? I have no idea what's happening. Snakey, don't eat the seeds. I'm built different. I eat the apple core every time without fail, and every time I wake up in a prison cell in Bolivia. Excellent. Bananas contain potassium, which is very slightly radioactive. Oh shit, is that true? Radioactive banana. Yo, Bung, when did you become a lyrical genius? When you said bum bum da bum, I felt that spiritually, not gonna lie. Bless you. Not gonna lie, I thought what cyanide was for a second. We all been there. If you listen to Everywhere at the End of Time, it's a really good album. Sounds like a good title. I have no idea though, I don't think I have. I had ketamine when I had surgery and it was weird as hell. Oh shit. Damn. Yeah, I like seeing that video of the horse with his tongue hanging out because it's on ketamine. Hey, it's funny. I could have sworn I'd seen the best YouTuber in existence before, but then I saw this stream. Weird, huh? Aw. Actually, I'm so high that I actually don't know if that's an insult or a compliment. I need simple compliments right now. What's the Aussie painting about? It's in celebration of Naidoc Week, which is an observation of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. I feel like I've said that a lot this stream. All is Australia. Wait, it's all Australia? Always has been. Always will be. Stop talking about ketamine, I'm getting Yoda flashbacks. That's a sentence. Oh my god. Alright, there's 15 minutes left, so I'm gonna get off stream. Oh, I'm Aboriginal from the Yidinji tribe of Queensland. I've never heard of that one. I mean, I know there are like hundreds. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. Yidinji. There's a Yidini. Oh. Strange how 973k YouTuber reads almost all the messages in the stream chat. Yeah, I'm not that kind of famous. I'm actually considerably not that famous. It's just that it's sort of like an accumulative fame. And so people are not like, boy, I really need to see this guy's face and his opinions and hear him blog, and it's not that kind of fame. It's more like I'm the director of a show and people just like the show, and some people like the director and know the director. That's that kind of, except on an internet level, if that makes sense. 99 Bung Boy. Alright, good night, Snakey. Potassium will also light you on fire. That's very true. Why you stream? Any purpose? No, I actually like to stream specifically because there is no goal to it. It's almost like a meditation for me, where people interact with me and I respond to them and I notice my responses. And well, I also notice what people are trying to say to me, and but I don't take it personally because it's just, I mean, sometimes it's really sweet and I can't help but take it personally at that level, but don't steal my plans while I sleep. What's your favorite experience collaborating with other creators? For a while, it was just me being excited that I got to work with people, and that's probably like the most intense emotions I could think of. It's like, oh, I can't believe this person that I watch and likes my stuff and he wants to collab with me. Oh, it made me feel big and important, you know. But there are like definitely people who have left a bigger impact on me, you know, where we might have become friends, or yeah, but I can't think of it too much right now. I have to go, but love the streams and everything you do. Hope everyone is doing well in the chat. If not, get better soon. Goodbye for now. Alright, see you, Sukant Tamna. You're famous in my eyes, and said fame is well deserved in all fairness. Thank you. I appreciate that. Can you stop being? I'm sleepy. I'm also related to Sean Shilborough, the comedian. Oh, that's interesting. Keep it up and never give up. I love your videos. Thank you, Bakar. Yeah, it's like a little group session, just talking and hating and complimenting each other, but mostly bung. Well, I hope it's less hating than loving, but I could only do that by simply being positive and hoping that it has an effect on people. I can't force people to be nice. Plug your Reddit. Oh, I'm not trying to get my Reddit big, but there is a confinement, there is an r/confinement that has been made in honor of my show. And Malrinkai has just put it in. And also the Teespring store. Oh shit. And the Patreon. Oh shit. Thank you, Malrinkai. That's very sweet of you. I felt important when the first time I felt important when my teacher kept me in charge of the classroom. 6 minutes later, the whole campus is burnt down. What? Oh my god, what a story. I feel like I've missed a few things in between, but holy shit. Oh, I'm so sorry if anybody got hurt. Or if your importance was undermined by that tragic event. Just got my wisdom teeth out, so I'm loopy, and this is my life now, watching your live stream. Hell yeah, NatX. This is your life now. This is where you live. In the moment. And it's beautiful. Bro, it's 5 in the morning. I'm hungry as hell. My sleep schedule is absolutely wrecked. Oh no. It'd be like that some days. I hope you end up in a sleep schedule that you can vibe with for the time being. I own 4 chickens. It's good on you, you know? Somebody's gotta have chickens out there. I finally get Minecraft music. You know, I finally get Minecraft music. What the fuck are you saying? I returned from playing and singing in the voice chat. I'll probably play some later, lol. Hell yeah. Beautiful. Sharing your voice out there. Hey, my apologies to the moderators if I was a nuisance. Keep up the good work, guys. I knew TP had a heart. I knew you had a heart. Probably do the Patreon if I get money again, lol. Also saw a dorm explode. That was one of the most acceptable times to curse in front of a child. Holy shit. Wow. That's crazy. And you don't have to give money if you're not secure financially yourself. You know. I'm fine. I'm really fine. I'm just vibing. Can I eat people here with a shovel? Whoa. You do what you gotta do. But if you live by the shovel, you will die by the shovel. That's just true. I haven't been able to see the screen at all because it's just straight up glitching and stuck at the same image as when I first tuned in. Oh, really? I hope it's flattering at least. When was the first time you cussed, Bong? Oh, man. I don't know. When I was a little kid, I must have felt real badass. Probably in school. I think school really normalized it for me. But up until then, it was just like, I'm a good boy. I don't say that word. And now now I see it in a sort of moderate level, you know, where I sometimes do it and I sometimes don't. I use it to highlight the exaggeration or the emphasis of how I'm feeling, which I think is probably my preferred usage of it. It's just not just swearing all the time, but not never swearing. But it doesn't really matter. It's up to you. Just don't try and control other people because they do it differently from you. That's the only time it gets irritating. I sit in the shower every day and just stare into the endless abyss of white and think of myself as a lonely soul who will die alone, and then I get out of the shower and walk over to the mirror and see, whoa, what are you, what is this story you're writing out here, this creepypasta? Better be fine. We're gonna have a problem. I showed my friend the video of all the different gods and we laughed far more than we should have. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I really enjoyed making that one. How are you today, Lord Bong the Great? Yeah, not bad. Kinda need to go to the bathroom again, which is upsetting. Did you ever your wisdom teeth taken out? No. I mean, I think I have, but I definitely didn't get the loopy gas medicine. That's something that I don't know if it is even legal here. But it sounds really funny. It sounds really goofy. If there was only two ways of living, always focused on reality, always focused on escapism, which do you think would be the better option? I mean, neither would be better. They would just have their own set of consequences. I'm sorry, I don't mean for that to be semantic sounding, but it is a very interesting point to make up, because if you were always in escapism, then you wouldn't know how to handle reality when it comes, and then you would eventually just get wiped out and extinct. Whereas if you're always dealing in reality, well, let's talk about that, dealing in reality, or focusing on reality. The problem is that if I decide to spend 20 minutes in an escapist fantasy, then that is my reality for that moment. You know, I'm not just sitting there not doing anything. I'm sitting there experiencing escapism. And as long as I acknowledge that I'm in an escapist fantasy, then I am still focusing on reality. That's the interesting thing about this. Unless you mean, when you mean focusing on reality, you mean focusing on like practical material progress, I guess. Because you need the ability to fantasize to be able to create goals in life. Because you have to create something that simply doesn't exist. Like, I'm going to lose weight, so I'm going to visualize this idea of me in the future, even if it's just for a second, and then you live your life in this way. But escapism is just a side effect of having creativity. You know, but escapism comes from a lack of wanting to be where you are right now. It's a wanting to be elsewhere. So I wouldn't say that escapism is the opposite of living in reality. I think wanting to be in reality is more important than actually living in reality. Does that make sense? I don't know, I feel like I messed that up. I'm sorry I turned this into monkey chat to the Midnight Gospel featuring Lord Bong, but I genuinely love Bong's response to philosophical questions, not gonna lie. I'm glad. Never been on drugs. Getting my wisdom teeth out was an experience. Hell yeah. Well, you know, as long as you're not panicking, then it's all good. Thank you for the 2 or so hours of entertainment. It's been good. Hell yeah, Shrek musical. You go do what you gotta do. I need to pee again. I'm gonna be right back. Oh no, actually stream's gonna end in a minute, so I will just wait a bit. I wanna go sleep, but I also wanna watch the stream more. The hardest choice requires the strongest wills. It's okay, the stream's about to end. Thoughtful orangutan vibes. Keep doing what you're doing, Bong. Thank you, belligerent bunny. Yeah. For anybody who wants to, I don't know, be in a Discord that I'm in, I'll be in there. Although I might just be in there with my patrons. So, yeah. All right, everybody. Goodbye. Good night.